So another day, another iced coffee. I did a little bit of installing last night. I put in the slave cylinder, the clutch slave cylinder, and all I had to do is really attach the spring back to the fork. There's two bolts underneath that slave, and made sure that this thing was hanging. I guess I needed to clear some room when I pulled out the motor initially. But that right there's a bolt. It's a 12mm bolt that I undid and rebolted or bolted back. Anyway, the slave's all good. Tried out the clutch. Feels just like stock, so I'm pretty happy about that. I do have a gripe though, so let me grab it. So I've got this cover right here, and unfortunately, I guess, I don't know, because of age, the pieces that would normally hook, like this piece right there, these two pieces broke off. One, I was able to, kind of fell on the top of the block, but one of them fell inside. So I don't know, I mean, from my last, when I pulled down the old motor, this was actually behind the flywheel inside the housing. So I don't know what kind of engineering this is and what this is for. Somebody, if you guys want to comment down below what this is about, kind of have no idea. So now I got to go fish out that little piece, hoping it's not wedged somewhere where if I start driving this thing, it's going to get caked onto the flywheel. But I don't think so. But although there's a hole behind the flywheel, I'm hoping it didn't go in there. So anyway, that's my gripe. So I picked up a new starter. I'm not quite sure why they don't give me the box, because they wanted to keep it for their core. Okay, the starter is in. One thing to note, the dealership gave me, I asked for starter bolts, and they gave me two long ones, where in actuality it should be one long and one short at the bottom. So this would have been a disaster if I snapped this bolt trying to torque it all the way in when it really couldn't. Luckily, I kind of felt the tension and just kind of knew it wasn't right, so I backed out and put the shorter bolt in. So kudos to the dealership. But anyway, so really all it is for the starter is two bolts, like I said, one long, one short in the bottom. You need this bracket for the ground. There's a clip here. I don't know if you guys can see it. It needs to be attached, and this is the power right here. So fairly simple, but we're progressing. I got the starter in. So I get to try out a new tool and make use of it. I bought it a couple days ago. Someone told me to buy this. It's a hose cutter. And Miles came to me and says that he has a hose from his secondary air pump, has a hole in it. So none of the auto parts store had it, so I just said, you know what, one of the things we got to do is go in to see if there's anything similar. So we found one that's similar. It just has longer ends, so hopefully this works. Same diameter, just a different orientation, just a tad bit. So we're gonna cut it right here. Get to try out my new tool. Clean cut. That was easy. There. There. So you got yourself a new hose. I think this was from a Ford. Good morning, guys. It is a Sunday, and I did a couple of things last night. I couldn't sleep, so I figured I'd kind of just note that here. I put back the power steering tank, power steering. I put in the alternator. That intake is just for mock purposes. Just kind of want to see how things are gonna lay out. So today I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of figure out this whole wiring mess and maybe mount the AC compressor on here. We'll do that today, but my main priority today is to get the Evo's oil changed, because I don't know, I do know, I believe it's nearing at 3,000 miles since the last oil change. I know it has synthetic, I know it could probably go further, but I don't know. It's easy for me to kind of figure out when these cars need oil change when it's at intervals of 3. So either I keep a spreadsheet or just go by that. It's much easier for me. I know synthetic, you know, I can go further than that, but just for insurance, and I do sometimes drive these cars hard, and they're all turbocharged minus the NSX, of course. But from day one, that's been full synthetic. So I'm gonna just stick to that rule every 3,000. So if she hits 60, I know that she needs to be changed. If she hits 63, 66, 69, and yeah. So let's get the Evo in here and get that oil changed. Easy as I thought this was going to be. For some odd reason, I'm not going beneath. This thing was on really tight. Can you use any of the conventional oil filter removal tools? So let me see if I can position this camera so that you guys can see what I'm doing. So you see all the dents already, because I've already tried to move it. It's on really tight. So you can kind of see how it's being dented. Oh boy. Oh, there it goes, moving. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what these guys hulks when they put this filter on. There we go. All right, there we go. Whew. Yeah, this thing fought me for quite a while, so luckily I'm able to remove it. I was gonna do the old trick of punching that screwdriver right in the middle and just twisting it, but I didn't want to do that. I was afraid I was going to hit the stud that's used to screw the filter in place, so I didn't want to risk that. Yes, I know I should have changed clothes, but I'm kind of in a rush. What is it, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon? I haven't eaten yet. So I'm not quite sure where or when I left off. It's a Sunday, the following Sunday. It is right now July 31st. It kind of sounds like Jacob. Yeah, he's coming here because he's going to do his oil change before our trip. So I went ahead and moved the NSX out of the way so he can just drive in. But yeah, that is Jacob. do have the radiator. I'm going to order next the fans so we can get this whole front end done, because the IC, front mount IC, is also something that I have. Finally got the gasket for this. It's believe it or not, it's 25 bucks, and most of it is because of shipping. So it came in this box and that packaging for this, which actually could have fit in a 4x6 manila envelope. And if they wanted to protect it, they just put a cardboard box on each side. For $13 piece for 27 bucks.
Not bad.
So might as well announce it now. Jake's taking the STI to Deals Gap, Tail of the Dragon, and we have a bunch of guys going. Something we've set up. We spend basically one full day there, 1 day to travel there, 1 day to spend driving back and forth, and then the day to drive back. I'm taking the NSX. We have an R34 GTST coming. We have Alex and his FD. We have Jordan and his Supra. Is Balka going? He said he was, right?
He's mixed emotions.
I don't think he's gonna make it. There's no way. There's absolutely no way he can work till like 5 or 6 and make an 8-hour trip.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, there's no way. I mean, if he does it, I'll be impressed.
I don't think he will.
Yeah.
That would be crazy if he did.
But anyway, we're running into a little bit of a predicament because Jacob found cords sticking out. He must have been running camber for a while on the inner portion of his front tires. So he's looking to source out some new tires before he heads out. But we've got 2 days. Right?
2 days.
That's right, because we're leaving Wednesday morning.
Yeah. So it's gotta be done by Tuesday.
What do you have on the stocks?
I think they'll make it.
Yeah, but what kind of tires do you have on it?
Sumitomo.
Oh, that's fine, man.
It'll look ugly though, car.
Why?
Because they're so like in.
So right now we're trying to figure out whether or not he should go with the stock wheels for this car or the stock wheels on a 2021
Yeah.
or 2022.
21.
And they're 19s, right?
Yep.
So I gave him I gave him a set of spacers that he can use. We're not really doing some serious track runs. It's just spirited driving, so it should be good enough. Shouldn't be that much of a safety issue, as long as you have enough stud.
Mm-hmm.
Try to get at least 7 or 8 full turns on your lug nut. If you don't get that, don't run with it.
Yeah.
We're gonna go see what Jacob's wheel looks like on Alyssa's car. I almost slipped there and died because that has, I think, mold on it. See ya. No. No, it's clear.
Oh, I was doing it. Whatever.
Wait a second. No, it's clear.
Alright.
You know what it is? It could just be wet, maybe. All right, do it again. Yeah, it's not the caliper. So what is Jacob doing? He's
We're gonna have to tighten some lugs.
So it's the following day. It's Monday evening. So it's probably Tuesday evening or Tuesday morning by now. So I'm burning the midnight oil. I should say changing the midnight oil. Hardy har har. But getting her prepped for the trip, and I'm pretty sure I've already covered this, but just in case I haven't yet, I'm taking her down to Deals Gap, something that we planned on for quite a while. I was actually just planning on doing this on my own, and a couple of guys tagged me, and so well, make a long story short, it became more than just myself. We got a couple of guys going, R34, an STI, a Supra. We did have an FD and a bunch of other cars, EVO, and of that sort. So unfortunately, the rain scared them off, and they decided not to go. So it's just going to be a handful of guys as opposed to over a dozen. Yeah, so I mean, I don't mind so much, considering the fact that I actually was planning on doing this myself initially. So not a big deal. It's their loss. These guys, I guess it might have been their time of the month. You know who you guys are. So, but anyway, I'm just busting. But so to prep her, I don't remember when I changed the oil last. I've been frequently changing the oil because of the thought that there might be a bearing issue because of the fact that I saw some shavings on my initial oil change when I first got the car. But at this point, I'm going to test it again to see if there's any metal shavings underneath that oil pan. So getting ready to change the oil, leaving in close to a day. So we got Chris coming. He's not bringing his FD, he's bringing his Q60. He's not in physical health with his knee to be able to drive DFD that long. So we are FD less. It would have been a nice situation where we had pretty much a good representation of all the Japanese makes. But hey, what can we do? So the forecast is a couple of hours of rain sometime mid-afternoon while we're there, but that's okay. It's an experience. At least at least that's what I want to call it. But it's gonna suck, of course. But you know what? Now that I think of it, it's a nice experience. I mean, I do mind the fact that she's gonna get dirty, but she is a driver's car, and she's not really a show queen. So, and these cars are meant to be driven, and I just don't get the idea that considering the time goes by fast, and we don't really have that much in terms of being able to recoup time, which is earned time. We just lose it. So I'm gonna take advantage of it at this age. I just came to that realization not so long ago. I should have realized it a lot sooner, which I thought I did, but I really didn't. I didn't really take advantage of it. So anyway, but I'm not gonna go into I don't know, into deep thoughts here, but so anyway, just kind of wanted to note on what's upcoming as far as the next posting. It's going to cover the trip. So hopefully, I mean, I really just want to enjoy the moment, but I also want you guys to kind of experience, our trip. So I'm going to try to document and record as much as I can, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up the NSX, get her prepped tomorrow. Hopefully I can give her a wash because I have a full day of work tomorrow, 10-hour day. So I don't know when I'm going to be able to squeeze in
cleaning up this car. But like I said, it's gonna rain down there anyway. But you know, of course, I want to minimize the amount of dirt that this thing accumulates. So at the very least, it's not so bad on the way back and what I have to clean. So I'm gonna go finish up here, and hopefully Chris is gonna be staying over tomorrow night. That way, because he's coming from New Jersey. I have Corey that's coming up from Rhode Island. So yeah, we're leaving on I think 6 o'clock in the morning. So we have an early start, and we want to be able to get to Robbinsville, North Carolina, at least during dinner time, so we can sit down and plan the day. So anyway, let me get back to this, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit.
So I've got some good news. Kind of just been running the magnet at the bottom of this pan, and I haven't really seen it. Did I just whistle? I don't really see anything. The little specks that you see on the orange part, that's actually the coating that's peeling on this magnet. But as far as any kind of shavings, there's nothing. So we're good. Kind of feeling a little more confident. I did get kind of scared a bit because I did feel some rough spot, but it's actually the embossed lettering on this pan, on the bottom of this pan, that was causing that that sensation on the magnet. But like I said, there's nothing. So it has gotten better. So that tells me that kind of nipped it at the bud, and kind of at least halted the progression of whatever it was that was causing the metal shavings to be found on the oil changes that I've done so far on this car. So yeah, all good. So tomorrow I'm gonna see if I can maybe give her a wash. So real quickly, I just adjusted the front, raised it about a full turn. I think that translates to about 1/8 of an inch, because there is a lot of dips and turns and dips on turns. So I just want to make sure she's already kind of rubbing at the local streets around here. So and not even driving aggressively. So I figured I'm not going to take any chances and just raise it just a tad bit to kind of lessen the amount of rubbing, if any, after raising the front end. So anyway, so hopefully that's enough.